Here's your wrestling news for December 17th, 2022. And we're kicking off today with Smackdown, as going into the show, there was a ton of talk about what the future held for Sami Zayn. WWE initially advertised the main event as the potential induction of Sami Zayn as a full-blown Uce, with Zayn even changing his hair for the show. Unfortunately for Sami, the focus shifted to be more on the Kevin Owens problem and his choice of mystery partner. When it was announced that Roman Reigns and Zayn will team for the December 30th Smackdown against Owens and a partner, the former Universal Champion wasted no time in choosing John Cena. While the rest of the segment underwhelmed us, Cena's appearance was a brilliant way to end the show this week, and in his first televised match since SummerSlam 2021, having Big Match John in the ring will be an epic way to end 2022. John Cena and Kevin Owens is nothing short of a dream team, but some fans had been hoping to see someone other than the 16-time world champion. On Twitter, fans suggested that Owens should be teaming with Stone Cold Steve Austin in a nod to his match with Owens at WrestleMania 38 this year, and a few even said they hope it's The Rock. Having The Rock compete would be one of the most monumental stories of what's been a wild year, though it was always doubtful that WWE would have him unadvertised for the show. Instead, Owens has chosen Cena, and given that it was Reigns who beat Cena in John's SummerSlam 2021 match, we expect payback to be in store for the Hollywood star. This week it was reported that Sasha Banks is done with WWE and has reached an agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Banks will arguably be the biggest female wrestler to ever compete for New Japan, but WWE believes that the boss's best days are behind her. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's reported that when negotiating with WWE, Banks asked for a figure similar to Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair, a request WWE refused. While WWE was interested in bringing her back, the company no longer see her as a future main event star over the next 5 years and believes she's peaked as a wrestler. While WWE believe that Banks could be a fine enough tag or singles champion, the days of her being a name WWE can build a women's division around are now over. Banks once had a contract for $180,000 a year with WWE, but after rising to fame for competing in the first women's pay-per-view main event, that number rose significantly. At the time of her walkout, she was set to make $250,000 a year from WWE, chump change compared to the $150,000 she'll make per appearance in New Japan. WWE is aware that if she was to return to the company, there would be a honeymoon period in which fans would go nuts to see her, but believe that this wouldn't last long. Dave Meltzer did add that he believes Banks will return to WWE at some point if they work out money or join AEW down the line, but that neither could happen if she hits it big outside wrestling. Any deal with WWE to return at this point would be a short-term deal, and there are some in WWE who believe she will be back, but have no idea as to when, due to the money issue. The former women's champion is, per appearance, New Japan's highest-paid name in history, earning more than Chris Jericho did with his run, but there is doubt about whether she'll justify her huge asking price. The report adds, WWE directly wouldn't say anything about her, but those in the company over recent months had said that the sides were not close on money. She and the WWE reached an agreement in the summer regarding her leaving, and the agreement was that they would release her to be a free agent rather than freeze her deal, but she couldn't do anything with wrestling until the start of 2023. Banks may be a free agent at this moment, but has agreed to not do anything wrestling related until 2023, when she's expected to appear for Wrestle Kingdom 17 on January 4th. After missing over half a year of in-ring time, Banks will surely get a thunderous ovation in her debut match for New Japan Pro Wrestling, but for WWE, they've grown tired of working with the boss. Speaking of women leaving WWE, Mandy Rose was released this week due to the nature of the content found on her exclusive website. When WWE found out about the content the former NXT Women's Champion was uploading, they felt they had no choice but to fire her, but they didn't give Rose any chance to make things right. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's revealed that Rose was fired without being given the option to take the offending content down and wasn't given the chance to tone down her site. WWE were also against the idea that Rose sold content of herself to fans, which contrasts to photo leaks in the past where women have had their private photos shared without their permission. Rose has assured her fans that the website isn't going anywhere, but has also increased the cost, which was at $25 before her release and is now up to $40 per month. WWE acted very quickly to get rid of Mandy Rose this week, and while they may have felt they had no choice, perhaps she'd still be with the company today had WWE at least given her the chance to discuss the situation. More from the Mandy Rose story now, as plenty has been said about her shocking firing earlier this week. While WWE have removed her from their website and superstars have shared messages interpreted as being about Rose, nobody in the company has directly addressed the matter until now. During the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T said this is a bad situation, one that Rose made herself. I think it's a bad situation. You put yourself in a situation, something's gonna happen. She put herself in a great position to be looked at as a major superstar like Trish Stratus. I hate it because that money was always going to be there for Mandy Rose. It was like money in the bank. I would hate to see her throw something like that away and fall into a world that is very, very dangerous to fall into. Booker also had an interesting comparison to make when it comes to Rose potentially landing in another company. I was one of the first ones that said AEW took Jeff Hardy immediately after he was having problems. They wanted to look past that. This right here is a problem. I don't think someone should just jump in and think, let's make money off Mandy Rose. Of course, this situation with Jeff's DUI arrest is nothing like Rose's release this week, and while it's likely she will land somewhere else, where that is remains to be seen. Booker isn't the only name to have things to say about Mandy Rose, as Grayson Waller has had plenty of praise for his former colleague. Speaking on After the Bell, Waller shared what he considers to be the four pillars of NXT: himself, Carmelo Hayes, NXT champion Braun Breaker, and Mandy Rose. Now, judging by the way Waller was speaking, it's likely that this interview was conducted before Rose's release, as she sure isn't a pillar of the white and gold brand anymore. More from Smackdown next, as LA Knight has been involved in a storyline with Bray Wyatt for weeks now, and this week, things got taken to a whole new level. In a TikTok video on the account Come With Me, Knight could be seen tied up with a mask of duct tape before Smackdown began, clearly the victim of a kidnapping. The kidnapper didn't reveal their face, but did taunt Knight with lines from the classic story of the Three Little Pigs. As if that wasn't enough, Smackdown also saw an appearance from Uncle Howdy, who we know for certain is not Bray Wyatt's alter ego. On the show, Knight stormed down to the ring to accuse Bray of ambushing backstage over the last few weeks, a claim that Wyatt once again refused. Bray even said that he's yet to lay a finger on Knight, but said that he's right to be skeptical. While Wyatt offered the chance to let bygones be bygones, Knight wasn't in a peacemaking mood, launching an attack on Bray, who was left defenseless in the ring. In the midst of the Knight beatdown, Uncle Howdy showed up on the Titantron to utter the phrase, "Pig, what have you done?" and asked Knight if he wanted to see something really scary. Moments later, Uncle Howdy was on stage, putting to bed any belief that this was Bray in a costume. So now the big question is, who exactly is the person in the costume? Well, according to Wade Keller, on this night, he believes it to be none other than Jason Baker. Wrestling fans may not know Baker's name, but he is a special effects guru who is responsible for the design of both the Fiend and the Burned Fiend, and has a similar body type to the Uncle Howdy that we saw last night. Baker isn't the only name being floated around though, as with the shape of his eyes and a previously spotted earring, many believe that it is Wyatt's real-life brother, Bo Dallas, under the mask. It has been reported that Wyatt has called on WWE to rehire Dallas, and for years, fans speculated on whether the two would ever work together on screen. If Uncle Howdy is indeed Bo Dallas, it'll be interesting to see where this is all leading to, and it may be a battle of the brothers in the coming months. Now, last night's Smackdown took place on a special day, as it would have been Brodie Lee's 43rd birthday. The former Luke Harper tragically died young in December 2020, and Michael Cole would pay tribute to the WWE and AEW star. Opening the show, Cole told fans, "It's Friday, and you know what that means," a nod to a phrase that Lee used for years before his passing. Cole wasn't the only one giving a nod to Lee last night, though. As for his entrance, Bray Wyatt said, yeah, another Leeism. WWE would also pay tribute to Brodie Lee on social media, and it all goes to show how beloved the former Intercontinental Champion is, even now, years after his tragic passing. More from Smackdown, as Hit Row was able to secure a win this week, earning an undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match, but there was a major botch with their win. During the match with the Viking Raiders and Legado del Fantasma, Top Dollar attempted a dive to the outside, only to get caught up on the ropes. Fans were immediate to react online, calling it one of the worst botches they've seen, and even rechristened the Hit Row member Botch Dolla. Some also tied the botch to recent reports that Triple H has been severely underwhelmed by some rehired WWE superstar, with many believing that Top Dolla and Hit Row are on that list. Not everyone was mocking Top Dolla though, as there was also some concern, with fans fearing he'd injured himself during the attempted move. Top Dolla himself reacted to the finish, saying one of his legs gave out on the jump, but he's been checked out and everything's fine. It'll be on next week's Smackdown that Hit Row members will face the Usos, and a botch like this is something the two teams and the entire roster would be wise to avoid. And we're ending today with Smackdown as the WWE Women's Tag Team title match ended in controversy. During the match between Damage Control against Tegan Nox and Liv Morgan, a mysterious attacker emerged, beating down on Nox and allowing the champs to get the win. Now, as the White Rabbit story showed, WWE fans love a good mystery, and perhaps some were excited at deciphering clues over the next few weeks to determine who would have had motive for attacking Nox. Well, that didn't happen, as WWE immediately revealed that it was Xia Li who attacked Nox, but didn't even do the reveal on TV. Instead, this not-so-big mystery was instantly solved via a tweet, which came across as a very underwhelming way to conduct this angle. Since being called up, Lee has seriously struggled for any relevant TV time, and with her biggest role to date happening on social media, it doesn't look like her situation is going to change. That's our news for today, guys. Please watch our previous video, 15 WWE wrestlers who passed away in 2022.